All right, finally I'm gonna go live. Oh me, long process here. I'm trying to get all this on StreamYard here. Hopefully I can get something going. I've been trying for the last 5 minutes or so. Oh me. Hopefully guys won't think I'm too bad late. Generally try to get in here at 9 on the button, but didn't work out that way this morning. So I'm gonna have to see what I can do. Go live here. See if I can get some post. Let me double check my testing chat. I'll make sure it goes through. All right. All right, I got it going here. And let's see if I can get a few people on here and see if we can do a little chatting here. Try to get the cameras and computers and everything going this Sunday morning. Get a little beverage so I can get my voice primed a little bit. Get everything rocking and rolling here, hopefully. Well, hey, Aaron, how are you? Yeah, I'm trying to get started this morning. I got started a little bit late. My camera wasn't working. I'm trying to use this the iPhone camera now, which is a lot better than my other laptop. It works pretty good that way. Is my audio and my video good? Looks like my video is good. At least I hope so. Just let me know. Give me a thumbs up or a yes or whatever. Hey, Fleet Tech. Yeah, we're in here rocking and rolling this morning. Trying to get everything going. Trying to keep things busy here in the shop and all that sort of stuff. Everything's coming in good. Well, I wish that was the case, Aaron. I just gotta. I guess this way I'm dressed this morning. No, I'm still the same fat guy that I've always been, and way too much overweight. That's for sure. I wish I could lose a few pounds. Okay, great. Yeah, I got a thinner camera. That's what it is. Yeah, I put the thinner camera on this morning. Yeah, but it's I'm trying to get everything rocking and rolling and square it up this morning and that sort of stuff, and just trying to put my best foot forward, I guess you might say, and all that up here in my shop and everything. Trying to let me get my mouse out of the way there. Yeah, well, I hope the video and the audio is good. That's what I strive to do on these live broadcasts, because I see a lot of live broadcasts sometimes, and the audio and the video are not good. And they say, I mean, all the surveys and all the things you see, they say that's the first thing that turns people off if it's got bad audio and bad video. And so I'm trying my best to always do the best I can with that. And hopefully it'll be all right. Huh. Got to get motivated, have you? Well, it's a good day to get motivated. It's a pretty day up here, North Carolina, a little bit crisp and everything. That's why I have a jacket on this morning. I mean, it's a little bit nippy. We hadn't got the heat on in the shop yet. I'm gonna have to get Jim to test out that. Hey, Jamie, it's only 3 weeks away now, Jamie. I guess you're getting everybody lined up there in Massachusetts to vote right. I know we got some critical races Fleet Tech's down there in Georgia. He's got a critical one down there with Herschel Walker and that preacher. And I hope that one comes out right. That's a tight race, and then I guess the governor's race too is going on down there, and just a lot of different things like that. Yeah, 23 days, but who's counting? That's right. Yeah, I think a lot of us are. My wife said this morning, can't come soon enough. I'd like to see some change. I mean, when I looked at diesel uptown here is $5.39 a gallon again. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, $5.39 for diesel. And with all this inflation we've got, everybody ought to vote their pocketbook this time. I mean, everybody ought to. Well, give it your best and everything down there, Fleet Tech. I know they're trying to knock old Herschel down. Maybe he'll come. Maybe we'll have enough common sense people that will go vote for him and everything, and hopefully he'll pull something out. I don't know. We sure could use that senator back down there. That's for sure. We need to get everybody out we can to vote and vote the right way. That's for sure. Because inflation is just eating us alive right now, eating us alive, and everybody's paycheck. I mean, the paycheck you got now is doing about a third the work that it used to do. I mean, it's your paycheck isn't going very far. I mean, it's pathetic. It is pathetic to no end that our money's not going the way it should go. I mean, everybody that had any common sense predicted this, and it's come to fruition for sure. It has come to fruition. And I just hope and pray that we'll have enough intelligent people out there. And I have to pray for that, because they haven't been intelligent lately, that they'll see the end result. I mean, there's a cause and an effect. And if they can't see that, something's wrong. Yeah, well, I know it. I mean, it's got nothing to do with Trump. Trump is out of the picture. Trump is out of the picture. I mean, why these people still want to bring up Trump? They have been preaching Trump 2 years after Trump's been gone. I mean, he's out of the picture. He's not running for anything. He has no say so about anything. So go vote with your pocketbook. Go vote. Be realistic with these things. Taxes are up. Inflation is up. I mean, you're getting double taxation basically with inflation going up. I mean, you're being taxed at the pump. You're being taxed at the grocery store. You're being taxed at anything you buy right now because of what Biden has put into place in 2 years' time. I mean, it takes no rocket scientist to figure this out. I mean, he wants to blame it on this crazy war, and that's not true. That's not true. That's got just a small amount to do with that. But, you got, like Jamie said, these flaming liberals, they want to, they haven't got enough sense to change at the voting booth. Well, I can't. Everybody I talk to seems to have a little bit of common sense, you would think. I evidently don't run into the crazies as much. I mean, if I did, I'd probably get flaming mad at them, but I don't see it. But there are people that just go blindly into the voting booth and vote the same stupid way every single time. Hey, Joy, how are you? Yeah, and that's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see people just continually, you're what is it? Some philosopher says, if you keep making the same mistake, you're not going to get a different result. I mean, keep doing the same thing. Don't expect a different result. And I think that's I got an itchy ear. Uh, yeah. Well, you know, it's crazy. We can definitely. I mean, there's a cause and effect with what's happening out there with what Biden's done. I mean, you can look at it plain and simple. I mean, he has made us energy dependent. I mean, that's the biggest thing that really drives me crazy. He has made us energy dependent again. I mean, we were energy independent just 2 years ago. We have no leverage right now. I mean, we would have all the leverage in the world if we were in the energy independent again. I mean, all we'd have to do is say, hey, we're going to pump it till it fills up the world market. That price will have to go down. And then when that price goes down, then the price of everything else starts going down. I mean, the price of everything going up is directly related to fuel. I mean, it's directly related, period. It costs more to get those groceries to the grocery store. It costs more to get those groceries to the grocery store. I mean, from the fields and everything else. The farmer has to pay a ton more just to go out there and get his stuff. I mean, that one thing, fuel, energy, is such a monster of an inflationary item, is pathetic. And some of these dummies can't see that. We cannot put batteries in everything. I mean, I love the technology that has come forth with batteries. I love the fact that things are working good with batteries, and I want that to keep on. But you don't cut off your energy just like that because you want batteries to get better. You're not going to make them better just because you cut off your energy source. You're going to make everybody poor. They can't even afford the batteries then. So it's crazy. I mean, we've got to get some smart people in there that will re-legislate, strike down some of these things that Biden has put into place. Get some of these people out. I mean, look at those crazy people that Biden has put in. All these transgender, gay, all these crazy people that are working behind the scenes, that we don't need that type of mentality. I mean, I don't need somebody transgender trying to change the gender of our children with the human resources. I mean, just because you want to do it, that's fine. I'm not against those people living their life to the fullest, but I don't want them telling me how to live my life. I mean, if you're a transgender person, fine. You go out and wear your dresses and high heels and do what you want to do, fine. Just don't bother me. Don't try to govern me. I don't need to be governed by somebody with an ideology that is totally away from the way I feel. And I would rather be middle of the road. I'm happy with middle of the road. I can take somebody that's a little bit fringe one way or the other, but I can't stand to see this extreme stuff. I don't want it extreme right or extreme left. I want to have it common sense. And we don't have that right now. Anybody with all these drag parties for kids, it's crazy. Oh, I know it. Prices of batteries and tires and everything that's fuel related has gone up. And fuel, people that don't realize that our entire economy is based on how much our energy costs us are foolish people. I mean, our entire economy, because we are such a mobile society, it's based on that, and that's it, period. I mean, that is the number one factor. I mean, you could probably change a lot of other factors, but energy, that's a huge factor right there. I mean, you can't drive cars, you can't drive big trucks, anything like that without it affecting us tremendously. Yeah, well, I'm all for technology getting better. I mean, I want the EVs to get better, but I don't want them to get better at the price of us losing everything else in the process. I mean, we're losing too much in the process right now. And I don't want to be mandated that I have to do these things. I mean, if I want an off road vehicle, I want it to be diesel or gas. It's more reliable. I don't want to be stuck out in the middle of some whatever and I run out of battery life. I mean, that's foolish. You're a fool if you do that. I mean, you need to be able to get in and out of wherever you're at before you do something. I mean, EVs are fine if you want to. I mean, I think the progress we've made on them has been great, but we're not totally dependent on them yet. We can't be. Our grid system is not there. Our the batteries themselves are probably at best half as good as any gas or diesel. I mean, I have driven them. I've driven one of the new Ford Lightnings. I like it, but its capacity is terrible. I mean, I've got a Ford 3-liter diesel, and I take it to South Carolina, like down to Greer and back, and I pulled this car. I pulled this car back in my trailer, and so I towed this car, and between it and everything else, it took me a little more than a quarter of a tank of fuel. Well, that's nothing. That's nothing. And I've seen a survey where they did the same thing with one of the new Ford electrics, and they had to stop and charge it up. It wouldn't even make almost an exact trip like what I made. It wouldn't have made it without having to get fully recharged again. And that's not acceptable, in my opinion. I mean, you can't live off of that and function like you want to function. Hey, Brian, how are you? Yeah. Oh, we're talking about everything, Brian. We're talking about EVs. We're talking about the election coming up. You're out there on the West Coast. I know you're out there with the West Coast crazies and everything. So vote the best you can in 3 weeks. Yeah. But, we're trying to just make sense of what's going on out there right now. I mean, people have got to, like I said, I'm all for technology. I love technology. Anything, I love new computers. I love new cameras. Anything like that, I really do enjoy. A man of my age, you would think, well, I don't care that much about stuff. I've always been a tech junkie. I've been a tech junkie from the word go. I got one of the very first home computers for my family that was on the market way back in the 70s. That's when I started buying computers. And then my son and we started building computers in the late 70s, early 80s and everything, and all the way through the 90s up in the 2000s until it got to the point that it was cheaper to buy them than build them. But I'm glad that we did that. And my son is a computer engineer, electrical engineer. So it's paid off a lot, and I really enjoy that stuff. Oh, I know it. The power shortage out there on the West Coast is ridiculous right now. They don't have enough in their grid system right now to support what they want, what they've got. And plus, they're going to start mandating to throw more and more onto the grid system. And then plus, they were trying to shut down one of their nuclear power plants, which is one of the best resources for cheaper electricity. So you've got a bunch of crazies in California. Those California crazies out there, I don't see how anybody can stand it out there. I mean, it's just crazy liberals out there. Hey, DL, 3 weeks away from the elections. That's what I'm. 3 weeks away from election time. That's what my headline's about. So get out and vote. Vote your pocketbook. Vote. Let's put people back to work that know how to legislate the right way. I mean, get some of these liberals out of there. I mean, that's it, plain and simple. I used to be a Democrat. For years, I was a Democrat. The Democratic Party left me. I'm registered independent right now, or unaffiliated. I'm not a Republican, Democrat. I'm an independent. And the reason being is I don't want to back 100% anybody right now. But I will say this: the liberals the pendulum has swung way too much to the left. We needed to swing back to the middle or over to the right some. And the only way we can do that is to get some of these liberals out of there. I mean, they work like lemons out there in their Senate and Congress. I mean, if Nancy Pelosi does this, they follow right along 100%. 100% of them, they'll vote her way. So we need to get a lot of them out of there so we can get a balance. I mean, I just want a balance of Congress. I'd like to see it balanced up so they wouldn't do something stupid. They've done so many stupid things in the past 2 years. I mean, this Inflation Reduction Act, that has got to be the stupidest name for anything. It's the Inflation Act's what it is. It's not a reduction act. It's an Inflation Act. I mean, it's crazy. Hey, Nova. Well, and that's what they're going to do too. One of these days, they're going to make it so we're not going to be able to have cars. We're not going to have the mobility. That's what they're shooting for. They want to be able to control where you can go, how you can go. They're going to they're trying to push more public transportation. I mean, I'm all for public transportation if it's done in the right way. I don't want to be mandated. I mean, I'll never, if where I live, I'm 50 miles away from a major city. There'll never be public transportation out here for me. And if there were, it would be so sporadic that I would hate to even, it wouldn't be reliable, and it would probably be costly too. Well, I tell you, it's the rich keep getting richer, that's for sure. And, but you got to strive to make the best. We've let the middle class be squeezed down so badly right now. It's pathetic. I mean, the middle class is getting very small. You've got some rich people and you've got a lot of impoverished people. And, I just, the middle class isn't a good class to be in now because people are so poor in the middle class. It's pathetic. Well, I know it. I'll see. I'm in the country too, Nova. I mean, I'm not. Public transportation will never work out here. Well, yeah. The problem with California, Aaron, just hollers. They cry wolf about everything. I mean, they're always in a panic mode, and they're always trying to legislate and do away with something. I saw Adam Carolla's one of his podcasts the other day, and he was talking about when he was young, they like the beaches would have know this on the beach. He said right now, he said, if you had to go out on the beach, you had to stand there and read about 20 things that you can't do before you go to the beach. I mean, it's pathetic. They legislate against everything in California. And, we want freedoms. We don't want overregulation. And that's what we have right now is we're regulated too much. we're regulated too much, and they keep continually cutting your freedom down. And I can't stand that. Hey, James, how are you? Yeah. Well, and that's what you get too with public transportation, Jamie. I mean, when you're dependent on the public transportation, I mean, you're dependent on whatever they mandate that the price will be. And I don't want to be in that boat either. I mean, think about it. I mean, if they decide to all of a sudden uh, mandate that it costs $5 to go X amount of miles, you get $5 or don't go. They say $10, you have to pay $10. I mean, that's sort of like the uh, freeway system down in Atlanta, well, or the express lanes. It they'll charge you by how busy the traffic is at a certain time. I mean, you might can go on the expressway real cheap one day, and then you see the traffic's bad one day, and you try to go to express, and it's going to cost you a fortune because it's expensive, and they're going to charge you when that traffic starts backing up. They charge you more. I mean, it's automatically charged their way when they want to. So they're going to take advantage of a tough situation for sure. Oh, I know. California's banned everything gas powered generators, lawnmowers, just all kind of stuff like that. If you, uh, I think all these small engines. I mean, these people that build that stuff, they'll tell you right quick, they can't ship it to California. I mean, and if we let the rest of the United States go the way of California, we're going to be in bad shape. Now, there are some states that are following right along with California, and I feel sorry for those states. I just hope my state of North Carolina doesn't uh, weaken to that point. I mean, it's pathetic. It is pathetic the way things have gone. And I guess I'm preaching to the people that are younger than me too, because hopefully I'll never see some of these things come down. I mean, I'm the older boomer generation, and I've seen a lot of changes in my 71 years, and I don't know. It makes me scared for my grandson, who's 17 years old, and he's getting ready to go to college next year, and those sort of things, and his life is just beginning, and I fear for what he's going to have to do for the next 50 years, and it's a tough situation. Tough situation. Well, that's true, Nova. I mean, yeah, public transportation. I mean, I didn't even like riding school buses, and that's a form of public transportation, I guess you might say. And we had to wait. You're standing out in line, waiting 15, 20 minutes, and whatever weather it is or whatever. So I didn't care for that. That's a part of public transport. That's the only part of public transportation that I've ever been really exposed to is just normal school bus rides, and but even that wasn't great. I mean, you're stuck on there you're stuck on a bus with a bunch of people that you don't particularly want to be on there with, uh, and then you know you're not going to go directly to your destination. You're going all over the place, and then finally get to your destination. And that's a tough thing about stuff like that. How a septic system? Well, septic system. I mean, uh, a septic system out in the country, if it's done right, it's okay. And I don't have city water. I have city sewer. The reason I have city sewer is because they ran the sewer line across my father-in-law's property years ago. I actually did it without permission, and we were able to get city sewer for free, and still got a contract with the city because they used our property and everything. We got it. We luckily got that for free, and it's been a good thing for me because I've not had to put up with a sewer system. I mean, a septic tank, but I got a well system myself. I don't have city water. I've got a well here at the shop, and I've got a well down at my house and one over at the other building. I got 3 wells, and they all work real good. No, well, I don't because uh, I don't pay for it because of the fact that they violated, you might say, our property years ago. So we basically almost took them to court over that, and because they did that, we got free sewer system. I mean, I got it in writing that from the city of Cherryville that we have free sewer system. We have free access and free sewer because of the fact, well, we gave them some access to property that adjoined us. They wanted to add a rest home up here. So we gave them access, but we put that in writing that we don't pay for sewer system. I guess in reality, well, they would have had to spend a ton of money had they not got permission to tap onto it from us. And then they, like I said, in years ago, they tapped on, they went across our property without permission. The city manager at the time that we had here in our town, he just arbitrarily just went across my father-in-law's property without asking. And, so my father-in-law pitched a fit with that. And wells are not, they're not too bad out here. Well, I say that I haven't punched a well in many a year. I think it's been, the last one I did was this one up here at the shop, and it cost me, I want to say about $2,600 to get the well put in here. That's, to me, I mean, that's not bad you And of course, it's free water from that point on, other than your electricity. But, so, I guess it depends on how much it is in each location and everything like that. Well, I mean, you have to put your own filter system on the wells, DL. 30 grand. Wow. Well, that is ridiculous. I guess that, you guys on the West Coast, y'all have y'all's own way of doing stuff. I'll tell you, it's not that expensive out here. Hey, Heavy Machinery, you doing okay, Patrick? Yeah, for 130 feet, $30,000. I can't believe that. Yeah, I got this one punched out here for like $2,600, and that was punching the well. They supplied the pump, everything. I mean, that's the difference between in North Carolina and somewhere else. But I've got enough wells, hopefully, on my property, and I also have a well where my mother-in-law's where I bought the house where my mother-in-law was. It has a well, so I own 4 wells right here in this area, and then I irrigate out of my pond, so I'm pretty good. You're doing good, are you, Patrick? Well, that's great. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the way that they do it out here too, Brian. And they do it with they put the pipe on top of each other, and then it's a drilled well. It's not a drill hole. It's well, I guess they call it a punch well. But I mean, they drive down in there to the hit rock and everything, and water and rock. And I've got a good well right here at the shop. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, this one up here is probably the strongest one I have. The one that's right here. Well, it and the one at the other shop, and they're both good. Well, DL, that depends on what your lifestyle is. Everybody has got a different lifestyle. I mean, what do you want? I mean, when you say a 5-bedroom trailer, somebody's going to give you a 5-bedroom trailer, or you have one. I mean, if you've got a 5-bedroom trailer and the trailer's in, I mean, depends on what shape it's in, uh, and depends on what your skills are as far as improving something. I mean, anytime you can be debt free, you're way better shape. 30-year mortgage right now at 6.5% is with anything, it's probably going to be, the average house is probably $250,000 at the minimum right now. Uh, so houses, I mean, I would venture to say, I mean, and that is really dependent in which area you're from. I mean, uh, I'm just speaking of the Carolinas. Well, I mean, a trailer new with cash. I mean, well, it depends. Can you not put that same cash amount down on a house? I mean, it just depends. I mean, it depends on what your lifestyle is. I mean, if you're going to be happy with a trailer, I mean, and you got the money to spend, and you have the money. I mean, I'm not going to. You're going to have to come up with your own satisfaction, because I mean, I have lived in a trailer. Exactly where this shop is right now is where I first lived when I first got married back in 1970. Um, I mean, I was here for several years, and then uh, in the mid 70s we built a house. Of course, trailers weren't that expensive back then. I guess they were in relationship to what I was making. They were expensive enough, but they're nowadays all that's gone up. I mean, I would look more at a modular than I would a trailer. When you're speaking a trailer, I like the way some of these modulars are made. I mean, if you can get one of those, I would prefer that. Something that you can actually add on to. I mean, I've seen some of these, even these sheds. It depends on what you've got. Depends on your skills. Depends on what amount of money you have. Uh, it's hard for me to tell you what you can do, because one, I don't know how much money you have to spend. Two, I don't know what your financial situation is as far as a job or anything. Three, I don't know your skill level of what you can do yourself. I mean, anything that you can do yourself is going to greatly diminish the amount of money that you're going to have to spend out. So it depends on a lot of different things. It's tough. It's like I said, it's not a one. You can't just answer that in just a couple of things, a couple of words there. Yeah, well, that's exactly right, Brian. Right here, where this shop is that I'm in right now is exactly where I lived uh, in 1970. I mean, we took the trailer away, of course, and then I built a shop right here. I had the foundation. I already had the well. I mean, no, I didn't have the well then. We were working off that other well, uh, but I already had a septic system. But I don't. I didn't need a. Now I don't even need the septic system because the city coming back through here again. So I've gained in a couple of different ways. But um, you've been in your trailer 2 years. What size trailer do you have, Brian? You live in a trailer now, James? Well, and that's what I'm saying. It just depends on what. I mean, things. I mean, it's hard to say. I live in a trailer. I mean, because the capacity of a trailer goes anywhere from a camper all the way up to a luxury looking home. I mean, I had a friend that just sold his trailer, and gosh, his trailer was beautiful. I mean, it had gable roofs. It there was nothing about it that featured that you would say was a trailer. I mean, but it was considered a trailer. I mean, it was a big house. I think it was 3,000 square feet. So you know, it depends on what you desire. Yours is a 29 foot. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's small, depending on the size of your family and everything. But I mean, if it's adequate, I mean, if it depends on how your family can adapt to these things. I mean, when you think about, I mean, the house that I was born in, well, I wasn't born in the house. I was born in the hospital, but that we lived in after I was born was a very small farmhouse down in York, South Carolina. I mean, it was very small. It was, I think it had two bedrooms and a den kitchen combo type thing, and outside facilities too. We didn't have inside plumbing, so I mean, I was a country boy. I was raised that way. I didn't know any different because I was young. Uh, then we moved to up here to Cherryville, and Dad rented a house for a few months, and then bought a house across town, and that house was still. Uh, it wasn't a huge house. It had. I'm trying to think. Well, all of us boys were in one bedroom. We had two double beds, and really that scenario carried on even to my mom and dad's other house too. I mean, all four of us boys were in one bedroom when I grew up. I mean, I slept with my brother Perry, and my brother D slept with my brother Don. We had two double beds, and that's the way we grew up. And uh, it's just one of those things. It's one of those things. That's what you do when you're younger. I mean, not everybody has their own room, and unless it's boy girl type thing. Uh, but even my wife, I think she said that her and her brother they slept together until she got up to be about the second or third grade or something like that, and then they gave them different rooms. But I mean, people do what they have to do. Well, I mean, everybody has their own idea of how they want to live their life. I mean, if you want to have more debt and you've got the amount of income to to pay the debt, that's one way of doing it. If you don't, and you rather be sustain uh, a lifestyle where you have no debt, I mean, we're all of us are going to have debt. To the day you die, you're going to have debt of some description. I mean, you're going to have debt with the government always. I mean, you're always going to have taxes to pay. You're always going to have income tax, property tax, state and local tax. So that's a debt you're always going to incur right there. So you're not going to be debt free. Even if you live off grid I mean, you're still going to have to pay your taxes. I mean, you can be off grid and not generate your own power, everything you want to do, but you're still going to incur uh, some taxes and you're going to have to lay out some money some way. So it all depends on what you do. And then on top of that, if you incur too much income, then you're going to be taxed because you didn't balance your debt and your taxes and everything. There's a balance of everything. I mean, I'm in the struggle right now of not having enough deductions like I used to have. I used to have way more deductions because of the expenses of all my trucks that I had. Now, not owning trucks or anything anymore, uh, I incur a lot more debt that is not deductible now. I mean, I'm working on cars and stuff like that, but I don't have the major expenses that I used to have, which is good in a way, but which is also bad in a way. I mean, it used to be. I mean, it's sort of crazy. I mean, like these Stericone lifts that I have. I mean, I was able to get those and deduct those, and uh, the business basically paid for that, and through depreciation and everything else. I don't have that luxury of that anymore because of my debt is not there anymore, and so I mean, it takes years to obtain some of these things. I mean, these are bought and paid for, and uh, I can show you. I think most people have seen them. I'll turn it around. The ones I'm talking. There are the Stericone lifts right there. There's my 55 I'm working on, and let me put my camera back down here. I had to get that situated here so I don't fall off. But I sold all my trucks, Brian. I sold out 2 years ago. I'm no longer a FedEx contractor. I sold I sold a ton of stuff. I sold all my routes. I had about 30 routes with FedEx, and then I sold all my trucks, and whereas I had about 50 trucks now, and then I had a bunch of older trucks that I auctioned off too. I had, I guess, all total, I probably sold 70 trucks, uh, parts and pieces, you might say. I mean, I sold a bunch that were just parts trucks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. These lifts are nice. I love these Stericone lifts. I mean, if I want, I mean, I sold. Talking about trucks. Now I still have two trucks. I kept two trucks. I kept one that I had a wrecker unit on, and I kept another single axle that I can pull. I've got a gooseneck trailer that I've got a fifth wheel and a gooseneck attachment for it. So I can go back and forth either way I want to go there. If I got something really heavy and I'm going long distance, I can hook my gooseneck trailer to my tractor trailer, and I've got a farm tag on it. And that's because I went blind in this eye. I lost my CDL, so I don't have CDLs. But I'm not totally blind anymore. I was totally blind until I had the operation, and they cauterized and everything, the retina, and I've got my vision has gotten increasingly better over the past 2 years, and I'm almost down to where I could get CDLs again if I wanted them, but I don't really need them because I've got in North Carolina, we've got uh, because I own a 75-acre farm up here. I mean, I've got farm tags on my trucks, which is way cheaper, way cheaper. Um, what prompted the sale? Well, quadruple bypass did. That's why. I mean, I sold my business out. I had a heart attack and had quadruple bypass surgery, and I wanted to get my stress level down. And that's the good Lord telling me to get out of business. So I sold out, and I'm happy. I did real well. I'm not poor by any stretch of the imagination. I'm going to straighten out my old hair here. Um, I'm doing well with what I sold it at a good price and got out and no worry. So for the past 2 years, I've had little or no worry about the economy as far as worried about my trucks. I don't have to worry about drivers. I mean, the one thing I had to keeping drivers was a pain in the butt. I mean, I had about 40 or 50 drivers, and I don't have to worry about that payroll anymore. anything. So right now I'm just working on cars. I mean, as you see this car, I got a Jaguar here in the background that we're working on. And then I've got the, I'll turn it back around again. For those that want to see it, I've got the 55 Chevy sedan delivery there that we're working on. And it's coming along pretty good. And it's that sort of stuff. Well, I try to, I guess I'm healthy enough for my age. Let me get this down here again and get this situated so I don't knock that camera off there. But for my age, I'm very thankful for what I am. I mean, I could be in worse shape, that's for sure. But I'm still have some health problems. Don't get me wrong. I can't do the things I did when I was 50. That's for certain. Yeah, we're enjoying all these cars. I've got that, and then I've got 4 other cars in the other garage across the road, and yeah, we're enjoying it. And I've got some projects. Kind of want to get a few more projects to work on if I can. No employee. Well, I got one employee. I got Jim. I got one employee, Jim, that works here in my shop, and of course, he and I take it easy. We're both at the same age, and we take it easy. We don't get in a rush. We do what we want to do, and I leave Jim to himself most of the time. It's sort of like, well, here's the project of the day. Do this, and he does it. And of course, I don't even have to assign him things to do. Jim knows what has to be done to finish something, so he just does it. So that's a great thing. Yeah. Well, the Jag's not mine. That's my brother-in-law's. The Jag is we've been working on it for him. He's getting ready to sell it, I think. It's a 99. I didn't know it was 98, 99, but it's a 90 when he was up here the other day. It's a 99 Jag. I mean, it's a nice car. It's a pretty car. It's got this. He kept it up pretty good. Well, more personal collection than anything, DL. I mean, I've got a 31 Chevy coupe that I've got. You know, it's nice looking. It's got the 327 and a 327 350 transmission. That's right, Jamie. When my boots hit the ground, it's a new day. I do what I want to do. I get up there and I decide that day what I want to do. A lot of times, right now, I'm enjoying life, getting to watch my grandson play soccer. I mean, he's captain of the soccer team, and he's doing real well. And it's watching his energy and watching him do the things that I wish I could do. I wish I could run up and down the field like he does. I mean, I guess I'm athletically living vicariously through him, you might say, if you understand my drift. I mean, I wish I could do the things he can do. I mean, he's in great shape, and like I said, he's captain of his soccer team. He's a senior in high school, and he's having a great year. And I'm really thrilled to be able to just travel around and watch him go to all his games and watch him and watch his teammates, and just it brings back my youth to me a little bit, and I'm really enjoying that. I mean I mean, I enjoyed when I was playing football and track and everything back in high school, and which seems like yesterday to me. I can tell you, it's I can't believe that I'm watching my grandson do the same thing. And time moves on, though. Yeah, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it if you can. Yeah. Well, I can take you well, right now the tour of the shop nothing fancy. If y'all want to see a tour of it, let me, I can't, I got to watch how I do this. I have to, I mean, I can't get too far away from everything. Of course, right, like I say, here's the Jaguar. Here's the Jaguar that we're working on, which is it's a nice unit. I mean, it's fancy and everything. And then over here's my plasma table, because I haven't used it in the last few weeks. I need to put water back in it. Of course, this is where I use, this is my little desk, and I do all my measuring stuff and everything for my plasma. Of course, there's my plasma cutter. There's my dryer for my air. There's stuff. And then here's a welding table I have. And of course, here's my Miller welder. And then there's my air compressor. Good old Ingersoll Rand, 10 horsepower. I believe it's 10. Let me see, what is that? I can't tell. I'm pretty sure it's 10 horsepower. And it's got plenty of capacity. Of course, here's my good old reliable buzz box that I've had for about 40 years, probably 40 or 50. Long time. Then over here, of course, there's a transmission jack that I had. That's a Stereo Coney transmission jack. And there, of course, there's my magnetic table that I built. And other little tables. Of course, if you're into big trucks, you know what that is. That's my air tank, one of them. And then over here, I've just got a variety of toolboxes. I got to make sure I don't lose the Wi-Fi on this thing, or Bluetooth, because it's tethered to my camera. But over here is the metalworking stuff. There's my metal chop saws. And of course, here's my brake. I mean, my shear, not my brake. Here's my brake. And there's a bead roller. These are some of the things we use for the shop. Of course, now back there, I've got a lot of leftover truck parts that I need to sell. Brake chambers, airbags, brake shoes, all kind of stuff like that. And right here's the inside. If you can see, we're building a new console for the 55. Of course, we've got it insulated. We're mocking up a console. Jim's working that out. Because we got it soundproofed and everything. And we're going to fix it up a little bit better. Of course, there's the motor. We got a 350. We got a 350 Chevy with an automatic. It's a sweet little ride. It does pretty good. That's about as much as I can do for the shop. The other part of the shop, I'll lose camera, my Bluetooth and everything if I move over there. I'll have to do that that's kind of hard to do live. Yeah, that's some of the goodies. I got plenty more in the other shop too, Brian. I mean, when you get old, you've collected a lot of things. And that's me. I've collected a lot of things. Oh, yeah. I have plenty of toolboxes. As you may have noticed, I didn't show them real. Just in here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11 toolboxes. No, there's nothing back there. 12. I got 12 toolboxes just in this shop. Well, just in this part of the shop. I forgot about the other part. Then over here in my other section, over here where it's my parts room and everything, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 toolboxes over there. So I'm not hurting for toolboxes. Hey, Ag Tech. Oh, that's all right. Get in here anytime. No, I don't have any. Well, I actually have two Snap-on boxes, but I bought them both used. I have them at the other shop. No, these are Huskies. Huskies are just fine for me for what I need, and I was able to get them at a good price at Home Depot. Uh, Actually, using the points off of my American Express is what I used to do, and I would buy all these toolboxes. I would get they had some double type points and everything, and I could kind of double up and got got some good bargains on that, and got them full of tools. That's the main thing, and get good tools. I buy new tools, used tools. I go to a lot of auctions, and I bought out some mechanics before. Like I said, that's how I got a Snap-on box. A good friend of mine was a diesel mechanic, and I bought out all of his tools and gave him a good price, and got him a little bit of money uh, for his retirement. And that's one reason I got his Snap-on box, which is a good box. I mean, it's nothing fancy, but it's something that I could afford and I paid for. And I that's the way I kind of do stuff. Oh, the shop, I've got the shop heat. I'll have to show you that. I've got a clean burn furnace. You see it up there? That's burns the used oil. I used motor oil, and I used to have a ton of that. I still have a decent amount left over, but that's how I heat the shop right now. And of course, I've got some gas heat in here too, and stuff like that. So I've got some alternative, but that's the cheapest by far is that clean burn oil furnace. Yeah, so it heats the shop great. Yeah. Well, I mean, Harbor Freight boxes are fine. I mean, I it's just a metal box. I I don't see the value that some people. I mean, I can go out and build me a toolbox. I mean, I can build a wooden toolbox with nice slides, probably a lot better slides than you would get in a Snap-on box if that's what I want to do. I mean, I do woodworking, and I've got. I mean, a toolbox is just a filing cabinet. I mean, in my opinion, it's just a filing cabinet, and it's a way to separate your tools and have them so you can get to them easily. I don't have a love for a name. The name on the toolbox means nothing to me. Uh, I mean, some people are that way, but I'm not. The reason I bought so many tires and a lot of stuff for my trucks is how I accumulated a lot of points by I would use my American Express. I mean, I was buying, I'd be buying $10,000 worth of tires a month, when I had all my trucks. So I would use the point system I mean, I would pay the bill through my American Express. My American Express would, then I would accumulate points through my American Express. And then Home Depot would give you almost double the points on certain things, certain times of the year with your American Express points. And then I would just turn that around and, I had to pay some money, but I would accumulate a lot of points on those American Express cards and get, I can go out and buy a couple $1,000s worth of toolboxes. So it worked out good. Well, I don't really need to find somebody's private photo there. Let's take you out of here. I'm gonna block that user. I don't need to see sex photos on my website. I mean, that's not what this website. I mean, if you want to see porn, go somewhere else. Ag Tech, are you busy this time of year? I know you probably are. It's you know it. I see. I watch the Millennial Farmer on YouTube, and boy, he's staying busy. And of course, they're trying to get over some weather tragedies from back in the summertime or back in the last spring, I guess, when some storms came through and wiped out one of their huge bins and one of their sheds and everything. They're just now getting that going again, I think. You just ordered a truck. What kind of truck did you order, Brian? Uh, was harvest wrapping up now up there? I thought the harvest was still kicking in pretty good. I noticed, well, Millennial Farmer's got all his soybeans up. He's getting ready to harvest his corn. And I kind of gauge what the Midwest is doing by that. Of course, down here, most of the harvest is done. I baled all our hay on our pasture out here. I have a boy that used to work for me, and he's got the baler and everything. I let him get the hay and everything off our farm here so I can keep it clean, and it works out really good for me. A T880, so that's, what is that, a Kenworth? Yeah, these trucks. Okay, well, good. We'll watch the videos. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not into buying the trucks, big trucks anymore. I mean, I've seen where they've gone. Price of new trucks have gone through the roof, and the requirements that they like for FedEx that they required the past few years has just been tremendous for me. I mean, I every time you turn around, they were putting a new regulation on what they required, and I'm glad I'm out of that. I'm glad I don't. We had all the cameras. I was paying for camera videos. I was paying for the logging devices. Every time you turned around, you were having to buy a new feature for the truck, and it cost you to show the new feature. I mean, it was never anything free. I mean, the logging device cost me in every truck. I end up paying about $30 a month per truck, and then the camera system about the same way. So you had about $60 a month for every single truck that you own, that you had to pay out a fee every month, which was tough. Yeah. So that, stuff like that it can be ridiculous, along with just the cost of the truck itself, is all the peripherals and everything that you have to pay for to maintain some of this stuff. I mean, at least you did when you're in a fleet. Now, you may not have to be that way when you're working by yourself. I mean, I know you still have to maintain. Well, I don't know. You're in dump truck business. I don't even think you have to log, do you? You don't. You're not going over 100 miles in any direction. I don't think you have to log, do you, Brian? I know a lot of people in the dump truck business don't have to maintain log books. Well, Ag Tech, what have you been working on lately? Anything interesting? Or is it just a variety of every piece of equipment out there? Have they got you locked down so you can't work on the equipment like everybody? I mean, it's pathetic what they do to the ag equipment nowadays. Yeah. Well, I didn't haul logs either, but I sure did have to have the log books, the electronic ones anyway. And yeah, that was always an aggravating thing. I had to have safety programs. I had to have electronic log books. I had to have the electronic cameras all the cameras, front facing, rear facing, driver facing cameras. And I think they're probably going to start making them, even put some side cameras on them now. They're changing that daily. Every time you turn around, they're changing whatever you have to have. And they think the more they put in it, the better the safety is going to be. And I don't know if it's gotten any safer out there. I think it's just gotten more regulated. It's I can't see where it's any safer. Of course, they cut the speed back on everything in the big trucks. Yeah. Now, ag tech, are you a service tech for a major manufacturer like John Deere, or are you independent? I can't remember. No, DL, I am out of the service of the big trucks. I could if I wanted to. I've had people that wanted me to go in business to do road service for them. I've had people that wanted me to do. I'm retired. I I mean, I've only got so many more days left in my life, so I'm not going to spend them worrying about trucks. I can tell you that. I don't need the money. I'm in good financial shape, so I don't need a salary. I have good income coming in, uh, so I'm at the prime of my life as far as uh, financially. I mean, I'm in real good shape, and I can do pretty much what I want to do without having to do any work for anybody. So, to me, at this point in my life, I think it would be foolish for me to take on any other obligations. And why do I want them? I don't want the headache. I don't need the employees. I don't need, I just don't need that. I mean, I could do it. I could do it. I certainly could do it because I have the equipment to do it. But do I want to do it? No. I got hobbies to keep me busy. Exactly right, Brian. I've got, I got, and that's what I'm going to do the rest of my life. I mean, I've got my farm down here. I mean, a lot of people have seen, I've shown my farm out here. I've got about 75 acres over here on this side of town, and I've got about 8 acres on the other side of town. And I've got plenty of things to keep me busy. I don't get up each morning and go, well, I've got nothing to do today. I'm not that way. I've got plenty of equipment. I've got my skid steers. I got 2 track hoes. I got a large one and a small one. I've got a tool cat. I've got a skid steer. I've got a big Coyote tractor. I've got a lot of equipment for a man my age and the size of farm I have. I'm not hurting for a lot of things. Well, a lot of, yeah, 48. Boy, that'd be nice to be 48 again. Of course, I would be younger than my children if I were. My son's 49. My son's 49. My daughter's 51. So, yeah, it would be nice to be that age again, and to have what I have and to know what I know and a few things like that. But that's not the way life works. Hey, Scott, how are you? Just got there, did you? Well, that's good. Yeah, retirement is, you know, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a bad thing. Sometimes I wish, in some ways, I would have to have my health back with me. I mean, my biggest issue is my health right now. Uh, and if I had complete health like I did when I was 48, I'd be Katie bar the door probably. I'd be at it wide open, but I don't. I mean, I have shortness of breath because of my heart condition, and I don't, I can't get out and do a lot. I mean, I can do stuff with equipment, but I can't walk 100 yards without being exhausted almost. I mean, that's how bad my heart condition is. Aaron, I appreciate you jumping in here, and you have a good rest of the day. Yeah. Well, and everybody, when it comes to retirement, you're going to have to make your own decision what you do on that. Of course, you can't retire too young unless you win the lottery or something like that, but or unless you're rich parents or something. But I enjoy staying busy. I enjoy my life as a retired trucker, as a retired truck owner. You know, um, I have no regrets on the way that I did things, and I'm glad that my time has come to retire. I waited till I was 70 to get my Social Security, so I waited to the max on that, and I was able to pull down the maximum amount when I did that. I didn't need it up until then, so I waited to get the maximum of Social Security, and I'm happy with that, and I'm happy with the way that uh, everything is transpired with my life. I mean, you know, getting old's tough, though. I will tell you. I mean, your aches and pains and everything else. I mean, I look around and I wish I could do the things I did when I was 48. I wish I could, or 58. I love to be able to do the things I could when I was 58. And but you know, we all take it in stride. I still have a decent amount of good health, uh, but I'm enjoying my life for what I've got, and I'm very appreciative of every day that I do have. So it's nice to it's nice to be able to get around. And I've lost a lot. I actually lost two friends this week. One of my classmates, he passed away Monday. He had problems. He was on dialysis and actually died as they were giving him dialysis. So I lost him, and I've lost several classmates. I mean, when you get up in your 70s, you'll be surprised how many people you'll start losing that are your friends and classmates and stuff like that. It's tough. Well, there's always the room to fail, DL. I mean, don't think that business, my first business was, I mean, I had several businesses along the way, and some of them were failures. Some of them were huge failures, not just small. I had a radio station that I bought here locally, and I lost my butt on that. I had a radio station, I had a newspaper. Uh, I've ventured off into some different things over the years. It's If you were to see my life story in the past 50 years, you'd see that I've experimented in a lot of different things, and not all of them were success. Uh, I had an internet business that was a success. Uh, I mean, it took a couple of failures to actually put me on the right path to figure out how to be a better businessman. Now, I don't wish failures on anybody, but you'll have some failures along the way. I mean, not everything is going to be a success. I mean, you're not going to be jumping out there the first time you uh, go into business and knock a home run, usually. I mean, some people do. And if you're lucky enough for that to happen, you're great. But I kept plugging away till I found some things that I felt like would work. And I did well as a contractor. I did well as an internet provider. I did well with that and sold that business, and I was able to reinvest into my trucking business and just a lot of different things. So uh, I I've been lucky. Luck's been a lot of hard work. You know, hard work's the biggest thing. Getting out there and keeping your nose to the grindstone, and don't give up. I mean, if you have a failure, you know, uh, I'll give you, for instance, I used to sell cars in between jobs. I was a car salesman, and one of the old guys that was an old time salesman, he saw me get disgusted on a deal that I had, and he pulled me to the side and he said, Mike, he said, don't worry about these car sales. He said, they're like bananas. I said, like bananas? He said, they come in bunches. So some days you'll do really good, some days you won't. You've got to learn to get out there and work as hard as you can every day, and you'll get some success. And so, you know, I've done I've had to do some jobs that I didn't want to do, but I did them to get by. Uh, I've had some great jobs. I had some great jobs that I gave up, wanting to try something else. And sometimes the things that I tried failed. And then you worry, well, I gave all that up just to try this. But you don't get yourself down. Just keep on working hard. Well, thank you, Jamie. Well, I know it's not it's exactly right. Hard work is not the way that a lot of people want to do. A lot of people want to get it the easy way, and it's not going to come that way. You're not going to be successful by just sitting around waiting on somebody to give you success. You've got to get out and fight for it. I mean, fight hard for it. And when you see an opportunity, run toward that opportunity. Don't, if you hesitate, sometimes you'll be left behind. I hope it does in 23 days. Right. Well, and you know, that's you've got to work hard, but work smart. I mean, check out everything you're getting into. I mean, don't foolishly try to just invent something. And I've done that before too. I've thought, well, this would be great and fun to do, and I think I can make some money at it. If you don't do your research, sometimes you can fall flat on your butt. And I've done that before. I've done some things that I thought would pay off, and they didn't. And then I was stuck with what I had. No, I don't have a finance degree. My finance degree is a degree in hard knocks. No, the biggest thing that I've done in finance. I mean, I took some community college courses and everything on that, but they're not what helped me the most. Actually, getting out and doing the work helped me the most, and actually doing the research on my own and studying and you know, everybody today, you've got the greatest resources you can come up with the internet. I mean, you can get a huge education on the internet. And I mean, if you want to learn how to weld, you can go on the internet. If you want to learn how to drive a truck, you can go on the internet. I mean, I don't think you can learn everything on driving a truck or even welding, but you can learn the basics. You can watch it, see it, experiment it with yourself, make the mistakes and go, wait, well, this is what they meant, or whatever it is. But there's a lot of things that you can learn out there that wasn't available when I was young. I mean, if I wanted to look stuff up, I had to go to the library or look in a book or a magazine, or, you know, use your imagination. The world is just so open now with the internet that if you can't get an education out there, you're just lazy. I mean, you can get your own education by studying different things that you can find online. And I mean, I think I love the internet for that fact, because I like to watch educational things all the time. Right. And do it yourself. You don't count on a partner like Jamie is saying. Jamie's a perfect example. Jamie is a very successful businessman. He's got a very successful business, and if people listen to him, you'd be wise. I mean, he's a very wise man too. I think he's done very well for himself. There's a lot of guys on this channel that have been very experienced and that have done well for themselves. I mean, Dirt Boss, he was on here last week. Mike has got a very successful grading and dump truck business up in New York State. Joey who was on here earlier. Joey has a good business now that he's working at. I mean, there's a lot of people that you can kind of watch them and see what they're doing and see how successful they're being within their the parameters of what they're wanting to do. I mean, and just get out there and do your best. Yeah, I know, and that's the problem. I mean, I'm here on the internet, but I'm doing this for the great thing about the way I do it. I'm doing it for enjoyment. I enjoy talking to all the guys like AgTech and Brian and Jamie and Scott and all the different ones here on the channel, and James and a lot of guys that I see each and every week. And I feel like I got a community of guys, and I feel like we've gone to a coffee shop and we're all sitting around and chatting and talking. And I really enjoy that. That's the reason I do this. I'm not doing this in particular to grow a channel and get rich off of my channel. I get pesos from Google. I pay more back to Google, I guess, for the services I get from them than the money that I get from them. But there are some people that are doing well with that. And if you've got something to do and you can put out a good channel, do it. And if it's successful, go for it. I mean, that's fine too. Not everybody is going to be able to do that. Not everybody's going to come across the camera that people like. I mean, there's probably a lot of people when they see my channel, oh, well, that's just Mike Jones again, rattling his mouth, blah, blah. I don't want to watch that. Or they don't even watch it at all. But there's maybe some people that do like to see me. I'm assuming they do. I keep getting people coming in here all the time. I keep getting a decent amount of people that get on the channel live and get on the channel after the fact and watch my channel. So somewhere along the line, I've touched some souls out there. I don't know if it's good, bad, or what. I just give what I have. I don't like to get out and brag about things. I don't want to get out and try to project that I'm rich beyond all means. I'm just an average guy that I've done pretty well for myself, and I'm retired. And that's basically it. I mean, and what I have, I'm proud of, but what I have, I'm not going to go around. I don't want to brag. I mean, people want to see some of the things I have, and I've been very fortunate to obtain some things over the years through hard work. I didn't get it free. And I don't mind telling people how I did these things. I mean, I guess as an influence in some direction, I don't mind telling you what it took for me to get certain items, how much I spent. If they want to know, I'll be glad to convey those things. And that's the way I am on that. Well, DL, everything is always going to be higher. It's never going to go back down the way it was 2 years ago. Unfortunately, we're going to have to live with that. I mean, think about it. When I graduated high school, you could buy a brand new car for $2,800. You can't buy a used car part for $2,800 nowadays. When I first got married, you could buy a house for anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000. You can't make a down payment on anything for $15,000 or $20,000. So the inflationary prices are always going to be in there. I mean, you're not going to be able to outrun that, period. I mean, I hate that it's gone up so much in the past 2 years, and that's one reason I hope people will get out and vote in 23 days and try to straighten out some things. But don't be complacent. If you're complacent and you say, well, I'm going to wait to something to, if you wait too long, you're going to miss the boat. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. I used to hear, I mean, I remember as a small kid, my granddad used to say, I had a chance to do this. And had I done that, I would have done, been so successful like so-and-so. And I always said, well, Grandpa, why didn't you do it? Well, I had to do that. There's always an excuse. If you can excuse out anything, you've got to go forward with things. I mean, if you wait don't do it foolishly. I mean, don't go do things so foolish that you're going to get yourself in trouble. But don't wait for something to get to your perfect spot before you buy it, because it's probably never going to get to the perfect spot. I mean, I look at opportunities on a daily basis. I mean, you can look at stuff and you will know it in your gut if it's a good deal or not. I don't care what you're doing. I mean, I feel like you can pretty well, if you've got a little bit of experience, you can feel in your gut if it's going to be a good deal. And you can also feel in your gut if it's going to be a bad deal. So, be careful with that. Hey, Zach, how is it down under? Yeah, I'm still hanging in here, just rattling off at the mouth here. Of course, this is nighttime out there, isn't it, Zach? Or is it the next? I never can figure out Australia or is it New Zealand? I can't remember. Is it nighttime out there now? I know for Ag Tech, it's early morning. It's still, what is it, 7:30 in the morning for you, Ag Tech, or 8:30? We're getting ready to change our time back in a couple of weeks. We'll confuse Ag Tech again. Want to do that because we'll be changing back to off of daylight saving time. No, I don't. I don't invest in the stock market anymore. I mean, we got some mutual funds, Brian, but no, I used to. I used to have Apple stock. I tell people I bought Apple stock when it was $12 a share, and I sold it when it got up to 20 because I was thinking, man, I almost doubled my money. So that's way back there. That was back in the days when before Steve Jobs came back to Apple, and I wish I had hung on to all those shares I had at $12 a share, because they would be worth about $3 million right now. I had about 2,000 shares, and time it's doubled and split and everything else. I think I figured up one time I'd have $3 or $4 million just in Apple stock had I held on to that. But you don't know. You just don't know. It could have gone exactly the other way. I had another one that I thought was a tech stock that I thought was just as good as Apple at the time, and I held on to it way too long, and it went down to nothing. I mean, basically zero. It went down to a penny stock. So you can do it both ways. I mean, I bought into it about the same price, about $10 or $12 a share, and ended up losing my keister off of it. But so stock markets, I don't like playing the stock market as much. I've got mine in savings and in mutual funds. I've got mine secure, I think, and I'm not trying to play the game. And I've got mine in real estate too. I've been buying real estate up. So that is my hedge against inflation, Brian, is real estate. I mean, like I said, I own close to 100 acres of land, which I think is a good investment. And if I could buy some more at a good price, I would. And that sort of stuff. So that at this point in my life, I feel like that's the most secure that I can do. I mean, I'm not looking to grow my portfolio that big. Uh, I want to stabilize mine, and having stability in the land and the other assets that I have, the buildings I own, four buildings, five, or is it five? Four. I own four major size buildings, commercial buildings, and then I own about 100 acres of land and a couple of houses. So I'm doing okay for stability. I mean, that's not cash flow money, but that's stable money if I need it. Uh, I still owe on two of the properties. I don't have everything completely paid off. The farm's paid off. Uh, the shop building across the road is not. I still owe on it. And this shop is paid off. The shop across town, I still owe on it, the two shops over there. And just different things. So I've got a mixed bag of investments. Uh, nothing to nothing to brag about a lot. I mean, I'm stable. I'm not I'm not in a negative situation as far as my cash flow or anything, and I'm not in a red situation as far as my books are concerned. I actually probably need more debt in some ways to help out on my balance sheet. Well, I've been a mixture deal. I've got raw land and houses. Uh, I'm not so much into housing. The houses I've got mainly came because of the property I bought. Yeah, I'm not much into the stock market right now. Stock market is it's going to drop a good bit yet, I'm afraid, before it comes back. So I'm not real keen on it. I'm not real keen on it. I'm happy with the mutual funds that I have, and I'm limited on that too because I don't want to have too much in mutual funds. But then I've got a lot in savings. So uh, I've got mine secured, I think. So that's where, I mean, at my age, I don't need to be risking too much in the stock market. I mean, some people like taking the risk. At this point in my life, I don't. I mean, I like being stable. I got a mixed bag on the land. I've got about 20 acres of pine trees just to the left of me over here. I've got about 35 acres in pasture. I've got some other right behind me here. I've got uh, about eight or 10 acres in pines. Across town, it's just raw land and buildings. So it's a mixed bag. Yeah, well, I don't need that kind of dependent yet. My 49-year-old son he's I always get tickled. Well, I enjoy helping him. He's always got a couple little projects here and there, and he's and I jump in and help him a lot, well, when I can. And of course, he's inventive on some things. He's got some 3D printers. I've tried to help him do that and encourage him on that. He's great with that. Uh, just a lot of different things. I enjoy, uh, and I enjoy helping with my grandson. I want to get him through college, and I'm going to spend some of my investment on him over the next 4 years. So I'm going to do that to help him and my son and my daughter-in-law, so they don't struggle. They've done real well. They've put back for his education, and I'm going to try to. My wife and I, we feel like that's a good investment for us too, is to help him out. And if I'm able to do that, I'm going to be happy about it. I'm going to be happy about it. Well, guys, I'm about to lose my voice, so I'm going to get off. I've enjoyed this morning and having everybody in here from all over, from Austria and Australia and Canada and West Coast and East Coast and everything else. Well, I mean, I just that wasn't a hard thing to do, DL. My fuel cards, I mean, they were all ran through the company, through FedEx, so they were fairly simple. I'm gonna try to have a safe weekend and good weekend. Y'all guys take care. I'm gonna get off of here, and I'll catch y'all next week, or maybe I might throw a video out there. I always say that, but I'm gonna try to throw a couple of videos out there of things I'm doing, because people are asking about different things, and maybe show some shop tours and show some projects that Jim and I are doing and projects I'm doing down here on the farm, because I've got a lot of things I'm doing. So I'm going to try to do that too. All right, guys. Talk to you later. See ya.